Artifacts and commitments. Scrum artifacts. Scrum's artifacts represent work or value. Designed to maximize transparency of key information. Everyone inspecting them has the same basis for adaptation. Each artifact contains a commitment to ensure it provides information that enhances transparency and focus against which progress can be measured. For the product backlog, it is the product goal. For the sprint backlog, it is the sprint goal. For the increment, it is the definition of done. These commitments exist to reinforce empiricism and the Scrum values for the Scrum team and their stakeholders. The product backlog is an emergent, ordered list of what is needed to improve the product. It is the single source of work undertaken by the Scrum team. Commitment product goal. Describes a future state of the product. Serves as a target for the Scrum team to plan against. The rest of the product backlog emerges to define what will fulfill the product goal. It is the long-term objective for the Scrum team. They must fulfill or abandon one objective before taking on the next. A product is a vehicle to deliver value. It has a clear boundary, known stakeholders, well-defined users or customers. A product could be a service, a physical product, or something more abstract. The sprint backlog is a plan made by and for the developers. It is a highly visible, real-time picture of the work that the developers plan to accomplish during the sprint in order to achieve the sprint goal. It is updated throughout the sprint as more is learned. It should have enough detail that they can inspect their progress in the daily Scrum. Commitment sprint goal. Created during sprint planning and added to the sprint backlog. Single objective for the sprint. A commitment by the developers. Provides flexibility in terms of the exact work needed to achieve it. Creates coherence and focus, encouraging the Scrum team to work together rather than on separate initiatives. Increments. Increments are a concrete stepping stone toward the product goal. Increments are additive to all prior increments. Increments are verified to ensure that all increments work together. Increments must be usable in order to provide value. Multiple increments may be created within a sprint. Some of the increments is presented at the sprint review, supporting empiricism. The sprint review should never be considered a gate to releasing value. An increment may be delivered to stakeholders prior to the end of the sprint. Commitment, definition of done. A formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measures required for the product. The moment a product backlog item meets the definition of done, an increment is born. The definition of done creates transparency by providing everyone a shared understanding of what work was completed as part of the increment. If a product backlog item does not meet the definition of done, it cannot be released or even presented at the sprint review. Instead, it returns to the product backlog for future consideration. If the definition of done for an increment is part of the standards of the organization, all Scrum teams must follow it as a minimum. If it is not an organizational standard, the Scrum team must create a definition of done appropriate for the product. Work cannot be considered part of an increment unless it meets the definition of done. Ready means well understood enough so that the development team can estimate effort to complete. Small enough for the development team to deliver between 4 and 10 product backlog items in a sprint. High-level solution design considered where appropriate. Sufficient supporting information included and/or subject matter experts identified as required. User story structure. A user story or Agile Scrum user story is a tool that's used in Agile software development and product management for the representation of the smallest unit of work in the framework. It provides an informal, natural language description of a feature of the software or product from the end-user perspective. The structure identifies the individual, what they want, and why they want it. User stories. When communicated on a card, they are Typically 6 inches by 4 inches, approximate 15 centimeters x 10 centimeters, restricted space intentionally constrains detail. A token for a conversation. When as a conversation, they are an informal discussion of detail between product owner and development team, involving other stakeholders as required to avoid misinterpretation. They provide confirmation. Acceptance criteria for the story. Traditionally written on the back of the card. Help define what done means for the story. And also context. Provided by visual models, e.g. business process models, customer journeys, storyboards, story maps, etc. Example stories. An example of a reasonable-sized story that is scheduled for the next spring might be: as a customer, I need to cancel a hotel booking so that I can get a refund. An epic that will be broken into smaller stories later on might be: as a brand manager, I need a new brand identity so that our product will appeal to our new target market. Where are the details? Details can be added as acceptance criteria, essentially tests. Here is a rules-based example. As a customer, I need to cancel a hotel booking so that I can get a refund. The details to this story might be: can a premium customer cancel the same day without a fee? Is a non-premium customer charged 10% for a cancellation? Is an email confirmation for the canceled booking sent? Is an email sent to the hotel to cancel the room reservations? Where are the details? Our now familiar story of: as a customer, I need to cancel a hotel booking so that I can get a refund. The potential detail that then become apparent might be: as a premium customer, I need to cancel my booking free of charge so that I can get a full refund of the money that I paid. Or, as a non-premium customer, I need the cancellation fee to be deducted from the refund so that I get back the money that I am owed. Or perhaps, as a customer, I need a confirmation email to be sent to me so that I know my cancellation request has been processed. End of part 1.